My neighbor and I get along very well. We greet each other whenever we run into each other, and sometimes we even end up at the same supermarket without planning it. Occasionally, we take turns paying for each other's groceries, and from time to time we share food. In the afternoons, I usually go out for a walk. My neighbor has a window that looks directly into her kitchen. One day, while I was walking past, I didn't see her inside, so I assumed she was sleeping. That day, I decided to walk farther than usual. I really felt like walking for a long time, and eventually I ended up eating some fast food at a park before heading back home. When I finally returned, it was around midnight. Normally, I get back around 8 p.m. As I approached my house, I saw my neighbor through her kitchen window. She was cooking meat. Something about it looked strange. Then she suddenly turned around and noticed me. She seemed startled, but I assumed it was because I had come back so late. We greeted each other as usual, and I went inside my house. Still, I couldn't stop thinking about that meat. I searched online, trying to find something similar, but nothing matched. Eventually, I went to sleep. The next day, I followed my normal routine, but this time I had a different idea. I wanted to come back late on purpose to see what she was cooking again. Part of me even wondered if she might be preparing something to share. When I returned that night, she was cooking the same type of meat again. She opened the refrigerator while she was distracted, and that's when I saw it more clearly. I froze. There was no way that kind of meat was normal. I didn't fully understand what I was seeing, but something about it felt completely wrong. When I got back inside my house, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Questions kept running through my mind. Why would she cook something like that? Was I the first neighbor to notice, or had someone else discovered it before me? I was terrified of going outside again that night, but I felt like it was the only way to find answers. If I asked her directly, she would know something was wrong. That night, I decided to sleep and investigate the next day. The following morning, I went to the park and stayed out longer than usual. I didn't want to return home until it was late enough that she would probably be asleep. Eventually, it was almost 3 a.m. It was time. I took my phone to photograph anything important and a small flashlight so I wouldn't make too much light. Using a small piece of metal, I carefully opened her door. It worked. When I entered the house, I immediately saw the meat in the kitchen again. I avoided looking at it for too long. I opened the main refrigerator. Everything there looked completely normal. I kept searching, but the house looked exactly the same as always. Nothing seemed out of place. I didn't want to go upstairs because that's where she slept. There had to be something different somewhere. That's when I noticed a hidden door behind some furniture. It was locked with chains and a padlock. Using the same small metal tool, I managed to open it. I gently placed the lock on the floor and slowly opened the door. Cold air came from below. It looked like an old basement that hadn't been maintained in a long time. As I walked down the stairs, I noticed a strong, unpleasant smell. At the bottom, there were hanging chains, a refrigerator, and several tools. At first glance, everything looked ordinary, but the atmosphere felt wrong. I opened the basement refrigerator. That's where she was getting what she cooked in the kitchen. While looking around, I noticed another door with a lock. Just as I was about to open it, I heard movement upstairs. She had woken up. I quickly closed the basement door from the inside and hid. Moments later, she entered and walked downstairs. She opened the refrigerator and took something from it. I stayed perfectly still. My hiding spot was good. It seemed like a place she never checked. Then she spoke. What she said left me frozen, my heart pounding faster than ever.